on in. Have a seat. Thank you for joining me today. I'm back at it, trying to do this weekly, getting interviews because season 4 is going to be very eye-opening for me. Have you met me? I want to say thank you to Brandon for taking the time out of his busy schedule to come and interview me last week. That was a very refreshing interview for myself. I learned so much about me during that interview. So I just want to say thank you, Brandon, for doing that. But tonight, I actually went all the way back some years. And he's agreed to interview me, allow me to interview him during this. And I'm hoping to learn a different perspective. Because you remember in the interview with Brandon, he indicated that he doesn't see a certain side of Kiwi. So let's see what others see as we take this call. Just a quick introduction. You guys have heard me. I had a story to tell. I talked about him. I called him. He is the love of my life. What does that mean? That doesn't mean we need to be together today. We are still great friends. He's actually my best friend. He really is. So why wouldn't I interview him to see what he thinks and what impressions, what it's like to meet me. Have you met me? So I actually have Baymon on the line. As I spoke about earlier, I have described him in past episodes as the love of my life. So, Baymon, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. Say hello to everyone.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. I wasn't busy at all.
Oh, I appreciate you. So, I'm gonna actually start off by what we call first impression questions. And then we're gonna dig a little deeper, just so the audience knows. Like, I've known this man since. I appreciate that. Wow, that's a long time. And through all of that, I could tell you the reason why he has this title is because it is well deserved. He has taught me some things throughout my life, and I'm about to learn some more from him today. So, Baymon, first impressions versus reality. When you first met me, what did you think I was going to be like?
When I first met you?
Yes, when you first met me. What did you think I was going to be like?
A good time?
Okay. A good time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a good time.
Did I come off? Go ahead. Mm-hmm. No, you were about to elaborate.
I mean, well, you wanted to go out. That's a plus, and you wanted to go get seafood, which I enjoy. So that's a good time. And fairly attractive woman. So yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, yes, a good time. Go ahead.
Awesome. Did I come off genuine or was I guarded?
Genuine. That's what you want to call it. It wasn't guarded at all. Mm-hmm. He was very forward. Very blunt.
Blunt.
Yeah, very blunt, very forward. Yeah.
So what was your first, oh, she's not what I expected moment?
I don't think I ever had that. I think you presented as you presented, and I think I read you very well. So I don't think that moment ever came. No.
So just so you, I'm actually going to disclose like how we met. I was working in an apartment complex and, just doing my daily routine, and I wanted to order a sign for advertisement, and I reached out to this company, which you co-own right? And so when you walk through that door, I have never, still to this day, after all these years, and no cap, no bullshit, I don't know what you kids call it, I actually fell in love at first sight. There was just something about you, your aura. I was in awe. And I made an excuse to go by the office just to see if I can run into you. And I left a very detailed message with the other owner of the company. And I was so glad that she conveyed that back to you, because when you came to pick up the signs, you had to sit down, and I have never been so bold to go up to a man and say, hey, can I take you out to dinner? So I just want to tell you, even after all this time, I appreciate you accepting my invitation. That leads me to the next one, personal experiences. So I want you to like share it, and what's a moment with me that stuck with you to this day?
A specific moment?
Yeah, or moments, if you can wrap them together.
Oh wow! I mean, that's there's so many. That's what makes it such a significant interaction or a connection or a relationship. That's the significance of this. There's a series of nonstop, even up to recently. I would have those sad moments. So that's kind of a hard thing to pinpoint. I'll say the first maybe would be taking a trip together, going on the road together. That like opened up a door for me into what I ultimately became or began to like, and that's just a part of me traveling and doing new things, seeing new places, stuff like that. So experiencing that with a female was kind of new for me, to that extent that we did it. So
Oh, awesome.
it would be Kings Island. Yeah.
Okay. So what's something that I said or did that made you look at me differently? From, I'm talking about the first encounter, and then along, I guess maybe the trip or whatever. Is there something that I said or did that made you look at me differently?
No.
Oh, I was just being myself. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Just being yourself. There's again, you're very apparent, at least to me. To me, I consider myself someone who reads people very well, and I accept people for who they are and how they present. Of course, that's subject to change with situations and whatnot. So no, you pretty much have been pretty consistent as far as who you are. That I've never been pretty much taken by surprise. So yeah.
Have you ever had to check me on something, and what happened?
Several times.
Just give me one.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, just one. I want you to express, and there's one that sticks out in my head that actually was life changing for me. But I just want to see.
Well, let's go. Can we go with that one, please?
Yeah. So it was a time where I think, because keep in mind we were fairly young. I was still in my 20s when we met. Well, late 20s. I used to always dress sexy and provocative or whatever, and I remember you telling me that that lesson, it's clearly obvious you have a big ass. You don't have to make that the first thing that someone sees, because a man's going to approach you differently. And so you checked me on that, and whether you know it or not, it still to this day was a very valuable lesson that I utilized. I realized that I am sexier now when I'm a curvy woman, so I don't need to wear tight clothes or revealing clothes. And you
Right.
kind of opened my eyes to that, because I was getting the attention, but it was always the wrong attention. And you conveyed that to me. So I did take, note of that. And, it may have taken me a little while because, yeah, I mean, I was so used to dressing that way, and that's pretty much my wardrobe, right? But at the end of the day, as time came along, I realized I didn't need to be so loosey goosey with the dress, I guess, if that's how you want to describe it. So, do you agree? Do you agree with me, or?
Oh no, I would. My perspective, that would be contradictory. So, my 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 perspective of that whole situation. You said dress. I never. I don't. Your perception might be different than mine. I don't recall it that way.
Okay.
That might have taken place, and I just don't remember it. But I can't recall now. But the way that I do recall it is, I was speaking more to maybe behavior, not dress, because
Okay.
your dress when I met you at that time, it was very adult. It was very professional. It was very clean, especially during business hours, and that was one of the things specifically that I liked about you, because I don't think I had ever at that point really went that far with what I perceived as a professional woman in a professional atmosphere, in what business suits, pantsuits, and dressed like that on a daily basis. So that's why it conflicts with my recollection of what you're talking about, and I think it was more as far as behavior is what I was talking about.
So elaborate. What do you mean? Share behavior.
So, understandably, women who have a certain aesthetic, a certain physique, big titties, fat ass. Is there? Can I use certain language?
Yes. You can speak freely.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, which I understand. Like I said, understandably so. Women are socialized that their assets is their assets. So, you're groomed to capitalize on that, and men feed into that. That socialization. So, I could tell by the way that you interacted with guys or me, or how you sold yourself. It was based on your physique, and what I was trying to tell you at that time is that is not your number one asset. That is not what you should perceive as your value, because there's so many. One, women outnumber men, and there's a plethora of women out there that have those attributes. And what I saw in you, your other attributes, your other qualities, outshine that. And maybe you had never been told that, or no one made you aware of that, But I was trying to instill that in you, so that you wouldn't be selling yourself short. You would capitalize on those other attributes, and if you put those out front, as your number one assets, your personality, you're well traveled, you're intelligent, well spoken, professional. You know what I'm saying? Those are the qualities that you want to espouse and that a man should value. And if you get a man who values that first above, of course, we're chemically geared to section and all that. You know, that's natural. But a man who values those things and qualities first, you're gonna win. You're gonna win if he sees those as your primary core values first and appreciates those, and then the sex and the how you look and all that stuff comes later because that fades. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you always maintain those, you know, those mental values. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to tell you.
No, okay, and I you know, it's funny, right? Because how I translated was more physical versus, you know, the intellectual side of things, how you just conveyed it. So I appreciate that, but it still hit hard and home, and most men would not have taken the time. They don't give a fuck. They just see a fat ass and they're like, man, I'm trying to fuck. You know what I mean? But and I think that's one reason why I have you on such high regard and high respect is because you didn't treat me like a piece of meat and you actually took your time to get to know who I was. And with that being said, what is something about me you think I don't realize about myself?
That you don't realize about yourself.
Yeah. Is there something about me that you're laughing. Oh shit. Do I want to know? I want to know. Tell me.
Let's see there. But you don't know about yourself. I would go back to those same qualities again. To some degree, you've realized that to some degree, I guess. Okay. But you know, when it comes to mate selection, it's still kind of it's kind of a tale when, you know, we talk about the character of the guys that you may date or, you know, select. And I don't hear, at least in the conversation, that these guys have, you know, these past guys or whatever have actually valued your, you know, your essence, what really makes you, where you really shine at, you know, what really makes you, right? You know, maybe to some degree, but I still think from what I've heard, I've heard you say, yeah, it's still the physical. And I don't know if you've really been sold on fully to where it has a impact and it reflects in, you know, maybe ultimate decision making and having long-term success, which you desire, that you pick those type of guys, that you espouse that, where you attract that, where every you just ooze that, you know, person, and you have that personality, that gravitas, that professionalism, all that. But you know, it depends on the kind of guys that maybe you like. I don't know, but yeah, I still don't think that you fully realize. Okay.
I mean, and I can honestly say that there is some truth to that, and that's something that I have been dealing with in this whole journey of mine and being mentally healed and healthy.
That's a big part of it.
So, and when you're not mentally healed or healthy, you go to the shallow end of the fucking pool, and that's the reality of it, you know. So do you think I'm hard to deal with? As long as you've known me, do you think I'm hard to deal with?
Well, the dealing part.
I asked it. I want to know.
I mean, you just mentioned healing, and it's all good when it's all good. You know, you're having a good time. You eating, you traveling, you having fun. Everything's whoa. But so you have a bad day at work, or something doesn't go your way, and you get in a mood.
Shit!
It may, it may show, and you may come off a certain way, behave a certain way, and it might not necessarily be intentional. But when you are a wounded person, or you've had trauma, or you've had certain situations in your life, and you haven't fully recovered or healed from them, it'll tend to sneak out, and you might lash out and behave a certain way unintentionally, but that's might be just what you're accustomed to doing when you fully see it as normal. So I don't say hard to deal. The hard part, I mean, because conflict resolution is pretty much my wheelhouse. So I don't have to necessarily deal. I just don't deal. It just is what it is to me. Mm-hmm. I can compartmentalize things and be cool. I don't trip. The only thing that I would say would be a problem is that when you believe in something, if you really love somebody, right? You care about somebody.
Yeah.
It's kind of unconditional. It's kind of unconditional.
Exactly.
And you want to trust, and you want to give that person a certain amount of benefit of the doubt. You want to trust in that person. You want to give them a little leeway. Mm-hmm.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, overall you're saying that if I were to sum it up, I'm not hard to deal with like 100% of the time, but I may have my moments.
Nobody is. Everybody does. Everybody does.
Okay.
But that's not really an issue, because there's no relationship that you're going to be in with another human being who is imperfect that they're not going to have their moments. Everybody's going to have their moments. It's just it's your conflict resolution skills and how you deal with it. And the frequency of those moments, that could be a fucking problem. Yeah, the frequency of those moments. Okay. How often that occurs, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying the difficult, the part that makes things difficult, the hardest thing to deal with is that when you give that trust to someone and they somewhat don't appreciate that trust or neglect or abuse it. That's what I've been finding hard to deal with when it comes to any relationship that I've had, with a friend or personal or intimate, whatever. You know what I mean? That'd be the hard part, and that applies to you too. Yes. So
okay.
know.
So what pattern have you noticed in how I deal with people? So and you can't you I need you to be like a third party. So you've heard of some of my past relationships or whatever like that. And, a lot of people don't want to admit, and I will hold myself accountable. Like, am I attracting the same type of fucking niggas? Like, or, is there a pattern, that you've noticed of how I deal with people?
Same fucking type of niggas. Okay, so we weapons free now. Okay, so
yeah. Yeah, of course. Like I guess my whole thing is it's like this, not that it's a recent
shallow end of the pool.
Shallow end.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's how what you referred to it as.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the lowest common denominator, the low hanging fruit. The one that tells you what you want to hear, the one that makes it sound sweet, sugar in the ear, I don't think you're as acceptable to that. When I met you in the beginning, it seemed like you was kind of in that, mode. But at this point, 50, you heard it all before.
Thank you.
Goes.
And that's facts.
But yeah.
But what I find funny is that especially like the younger men, because I get hit on a lot by the younger guys, and they are like telling me shit like it's the first time I've ever heard it. The famous line, like I could have like this string of being consistent in text messaging and maybe some phone calls or whatever like that. Then these motherfuckers just drop off the face of the earth, and then they come back like 3-6 months later talking about, I lost my phone and blah blah. And I'm like, nigga, why are men using that same fucking line? That shit is so played. Let's find a new fucking excuse for your fuckery or why can't you just say, hey man, I met this bitch and I decided to fuck with her for a minute and she turned out to be fucking crazy. And I remember you, Kiwi, so I'm going to go ahead and dig that back up and see where you're at and see if you're still single. I respect that more than that same tired ass fucking line. I lost my phone, lost my contacts, but yet you have my number.
Okay, I can address that.
Yes, please.
Okay, well, one, there's no registry of pickup lines for men to, tap into and make sure that they're up to date on their, their pickups.
Okay.
So that's one, and two, that might not be the case. There might not have been a chick or something like that. There could have been the chick that already existed. There's a number of reasons that a person could do what they do. Men experience the same thing. I experience the same thing. I just don't ponder on it. I don't care. It's not that significant. Why a person does what they do. I don't study on that too hard, right? Either they do or they don't. Either they going or they not. So it's like you move on. So I don't ponder on that too much. So
okay, I can definitely appreciate that. So what kind of energy do I bring into a room?
It's good energy, man. I mean, you're live. You're alive. You have I don't know. Do they refer to that as the Jezebel spirit? But no, man. You're just you say flirtatious, but I don't want to refer to it as that. But you're pretty you're friendly. You're live. You're outgoing. You're upbeat. You're not tight. You're not snobbish. You're friendly. And that's a good thing until you shouldn't be. But gauging that and knowing the cutoff point and when not to be. I guess a person has to use a certain amount of their own discretion. To know when to do that when it's not. But yeah, I mean that's my impression. That's what I would say, man. It's like I feel good, but those times, like I said, when we travel and stuff like that, having that a kindred spirit like that, a free spirited person, everything's fucking fun, man. It's a nonstop good time, especially when you're having new experiences and you kind of like liven up the party, especially if it's other people. And being army brat, what you are, you're well rounded. You're used to being in different environments and adapting to different environments and different people, and making that because you had to make new connections and establish new connections with different personalities, and you're able to switch like that. Everybody doesn't have that capability, and a person who isn't able to, or used to switching like that might be off-put because you're able to, because you've had to do that. So that could be good thing and it could be a bad thing. It has its drawbacks. And then for you, it has its benefits, big benefits. But, for a person who's not accustomed to that, and then, they get the switch, they be like, damn, this motherfucker something else,
What?
It is.
No,
it is what it is.
And that's actually very refreshing to hear because, like, you're talking 2004 to 2026. So, what's something you've seen me grow through? What's my biggest change that you've seen? That's a long time. So, hopefully, you've seen something. Like what? Oh shit.
Biggest growth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't sense. Damn, I don't know. I can't say because there's a difference between being in the city with someone and then you've moved, so it's hard to make certain observations. But and so I would have to say, as it relates to me, maybe I don't.
Okay,
I don't know. But the biggest change. It would have to be. It wouldn't be a positive change because.
Oh shit!
Like with the driving thing. You used to drive on the highway and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You were a little bit more capable and a little less anxious. You were.
Yeah. No, yeah. I could dig it.
And whereas I'm like, this is my counterpart. This person can do everything that I can do. So if something happens, there's an incident, there's an emergency, and I'm incapacitated, this person can fully take on and do everything that I would have done if that was me and the shoe was on the other foot type thing. Now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get you there, but I got to take these back streets quick. Right now, bullshit. You know what I mean? So
well, I and hey, I totally, I see where you're going with that, but, and that's, dealing with some PTSD, like, being T-boned and several times, and these motherfuckers out here can't fucking drive, dude. So I feel like I'm not gonna allow somebody to take my life, and you hear about this shit all the time. That's a totally different show, but no, I appreciate. No, I appreciate.
You asked me about growth.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you asked me about growth.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what I can throw you. As far as growth, I would say. Being willing to have a dialogue, even suggesting any type of introspect and self-analyzation, maybe. Because
nice.
You're asking these questions, and I don't see 2004 Keisha even remotely interested in any type of self-analyzation or introspect or shadow work or any realm of consciousness. A good time and fun and party maybe, but this type of stuff. I mean that shows growth and some maturity. So
I appreciate that.
That's the answer. Yeah.
So 2 more questions, and the last one, I can't wait to hear your answer. So, do you think I show people the real me or a version of me?
There's several versions of me.
What the fuck does that mean, several versions of me? I mean, don't we all have several versions of them, of who you are?
No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Again, what you have to understand, and Rob realizes that you have been socialized differently than most people. It's part of what makes you you. It's what makes you unique. Okay, so you being in different environments and having to adapt to different environments, different people, different situations, made you into something that most people may not be able to comprehend or deal with. So, again, I reiterate that you're a fucking Army brat and going to different countries, different states, different cities, and adapting to these different environments and people, different lingo, and having to adapt to that. And sometimes you would assimilate. So not only assimilating in a white environment, but urban environment at times, with people, or work environment,
yes,
business environment, professional environment, a street environment, hood environment, a black urban environment. So you have all these different things that, you've been kind of socialized, unsocialized, adapted, and moved over here and they're doing it different. So,
yeah,
that makes a pretty unique person. That's my observation. That's what makes you and a pretty unique person. Yeah. So again, it has its good qualities where you could go anywhere and become anything, and you are like limitless, like you took a limitless one of those fucking pills. If you ever seen them?
yeah.
It's called limitless. It's like if you took that pill, you could do. I myself, I don't have that ability. I couldn't do that. It would. I would have to make a conscious effort to make myself transform into something else other than what I am and what I've been comfortable being. So, that's you. Yeah.
I really appreciate hearing that. I'm glad that you explained that, broke it down. It's the last question. If someone asked you, have you met her? How would you answer that? How would you explain me to someone else? Have you met me?
Yeah, I used to fuck with her. What you mean? Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is like, so that someone asks you about me. Let's say it's a guy that wants to date me, and he's like, "Hey man, can you tell me about Kiwi over here? Like, describe me. Have you met me?
And thank you for the context. Because, you had to ask the context to that, man. Because I'm not telling no fucking guy about you. I'm not doing any of that fucking shit. That take away time from me. That take away attention from me. Fuck all that. I'm not doing that. What the fuck you mean?
I love it. I love it.
Okay. A female? Oh, well, of course, you already... you're going to go down the long list of things. Oh, man, if it wasn't... she's live. She's good people. You know what I mean? I'm not going to talk about, the bad attributes. They have to fuck around and find out. It's like I did. It's like, a lot of the things that the abilities that I employ today, man, shit, a lot of that shit came from Keisha. She helped me open up as a person, an individual, and be more an extrovert versus an introvert. Because when I met you, I was more about an introvert, So I'm more extroverted now. Yeah. And, you are the people you hang around. And being around you, for an extended period of time, as much as we were, right? It's like you're going to pick up things. That's why it's important you check the company that you keep. Yeah. So that's I would describe you to a person as she's she's a good person. It really depends. You filling out an application, you trying to get a job or some shit like that. I'm gonna tell them everything that applies to that in that context, right?
Yeah.
She's very professional. She has a good business acumen, and so forth and so on. But I ain't telling no niggas that, you know, you find it for yourself. You know?
Oh, damn. I like that. Yeah. I like that. No, so, you know, I appreciate you taking the time. I learned so much. And the one thing that, you know, I do speak, I have, you know, mentioned you quite a few times, throughout a lot, my season 1, 2, and 3, you know, because, you know, you are a very, important person in my life. You, believe it or not, you know, and I don't know if I've ever told you, you have shaped me in some different, you know, aspects of my life of who I am today, right? I would like to say that, I no longer, you know, I used to be, you know, kind of, quiet. I think when you met me, I was leaving a very horrible situation.
Yeah.
And so, you know, through all that, you don't know how much, that's why you're the love of my life, because you actually showed me what, you know, true love is supposed to look like. You love somebody, damaged, not damaged, and all the things, good, bad, or indifferent, because there was some, I've said it, I've had some crazy toxic moments with you, and at the end of the day, look at us still to this day. We are like the best of friends. You are my best friend. You're very valuable, and I know you've heard me say this, you are the only consistent man out, you know, in my life. You really are, you know, outside of my son, you know, who I raised or whatever like that, but you are the most consistent man. I will never forget, there was a moment when I was married for the second time. We won't go into detail about that, but when I got a divorce, and I, you know, I picked up that phone and I dialed that phone number, and when you answered the phone and we just started talking like we had never stopped talking, I think that just validated what I knew previous. It was just unhealthy. It was unhealthy back then.
We had to stop talking. I'm sorry.
Well, no. I mean, there was a moment where we weren't consistent. You know, I mean,
right? Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. Because I mean, you're my best friend. You're gonna hear all the good, bad, and different, and ugly, and I'm really just saying that, all of that to say that, you know, one, most consistent man in my life. Two, the love that you've shown me over the years. You actually, so I had someone ask me on one of my shows, do I know what unconditional love is? And I say yes. Fucking Baymon. Me and what I went through with this man, that's unconditional. You know, I just want to say thank you. I really, really appreciate you spending the time and it's Have You Met Me? So thank you for joining us.
I appreciate you. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Again, I just have to say thank you to Baymon for joining me on my show. It was very refreshing to hear how I impacted his life. So sometimes, like last week when I said the assignment, have those hard conversations. Did you ask your love of your life, your best friend, your sister, your mother, your brother, did you have that hard conversation and ask those hard questions? Sometimes we don't want to hear them, but believe it or not, it can help you through the journey of healing. If you haven't done so already, why not? It's never too late. Stop and smile at somebody today, because that smile can actually brighten their day, and believe it or not, it makes you feel good that you actually pass that along. So until next time, you guys, can't wait till next week. I'm going to be interviewing somebody else. Please leave me a comment and I will reply. I will get back with you. So until next time, have you met me?